Hi, and welcome back. I think tonight we're gonna start cutting the pan and bringing it over the vise and trying to bend it. Thinking I might need to make the hole where the bolt runs through a little wider so I can shift it towards the body a little bit more. Because I'm thinking that outside lip right there where it meets the firewall is gonna be over too far sticking out. But we're gonna probably notch that first and see where it sits, and then start cutting the corners out so we can bend each piece where it needs to be. And we're gonna try out the Clark welder. I got it all set up. It took a while to get the speed adjustment to keep pulling the wire through so it's slipping, but we'll try that on some scrap metal and see how that works out. And too, if it might use it to do the little spot welds on this brace here to kind of keep it from falling down, and trying to weld up that little crack right there where that welder's setting. So we got a little bit to do tonight. Main thing is to get the pan kind of split apart and kind of pushed out to see where we need to be. And then hopefully next time we can start punching holes and welding. But if we do split it enough, I may have to make a piece to go in the pan to take up the space that when we split it apart, you know, it's gonna have a space between the two pieces. So I might have to make a small piece for that or weld it up if it's not that big. But anyways, let's jump over there and kind of show you a little bit more in depth what we're gonna do tonight. I think the first thing we need to do is kind of go ahead and notch this out. Cut this on this side and down here. That way this will pull together more. And see if this lines up with this. And if it does, then this should be okay all the way down. And then about right here, I think it's where I'm gonna start splitting it all the way to here and pull this piece off. And that should tell me how close it is to this brace that the inner rocker needs to be welded to. And then we're gonna split it right here. And just straight up, and probably split it right here. And if we get that and kind of get this bent to where it needs it, then we're gonna come in here and do a couple of spot welds on this while the pan's off, get a level. If I got a level that long, put it across here, make sure it's level, and then go ahead and tack weld here so it doesn't fall anymore. And then that crack, you can try to weld it underneath this. But I'm just using the wire that came with it tonight. Came with a little spool of it. So we'll see how that goes. But anyways, that's the main plan for tonight. And if we get this where we need it, then I'll go ahead and punch some holes. And then we need to drill some holes on this brace here on each side. And then we may be able to get in this week, hopefully. Anyways, need to pull the pan out first, and actually first I need to mark this where we need to cut it here and here, and then pull the pan out. So I'm gonna set you all over here and we'll do that right quick. We're almost there. Let's take a little bit more off, and hopefully that'll be good enough. I think we're real close now by taking that little bit out. You kind of see how this is pushing in on top of this. Probably gonna have to cut it right here, then cut that and bend this back this way some to get this to set how it wants to set further in this way a little bit more. But it feels flush right now. It looks all right. But I'm gonna go ahead and cut it right here and take this piece completely off. Try to just cut that seam and see where it sits on this brace right quick. That seemed to work out better than I expected, especially right here. We got a pretty good seam there we could weld to. Only thing is I didn't quite bend it at this end, so we're gonna have to push this back some. But close this up all the way. And this needs to be pushed that way a lot more. Kind of miscut that corner, so that's gonna be kind of difficult. Might take it over to the anvil and hammer this down and hammer that down. See if we can get a better fit. I want to see what it looks like over here. You can still see a lot of daylight. So I'm gonna keep bending it. But I do like how this is lining up here. Still need to cut this off. I may go ahead and do that right now. So I need to see if this needs to be shifted over some. That seemed to help. Anyways, I think we'll take it off. We'll cut this piece off and we'll go from there. kind of what I figured. To get this where it's flush, this needs to go over. You can see the hole there. I believe I put my bolt in there. And there's too much of a lip. So what I think I'm going to do is push it back where it needs to go. Get my Dremel tool and carve out a bit more of this, and maybe have to put some weld on this side. That's what I'm thinking. It looks like it should go, but or maybe just maybe I don't have to put any weld on there, just kind of make this a little bit bigger, because this will be tacked down anyways. So I don't think I have to make this a perfect hole, just as long as the washer doesn't fall through. So I'm probably gonna drill this side out a little bit more, push it over as far as I can, so I make sure I get this flush. Seems to be pretty good right there. And that's still pretty much lined up, and they'll pull together a little bit. But I'm gonna drill out that hole a bit more. I think we got it where we need it. It's pretty flush to this brace. So I think the interlock will fit fine over it. This here is pretty good. So we got a pretty good gap here. And this come apart just a little bit more. Since we got this lined up, didn't need to cut as much off of that. But as you can see, we got a pretty good gap down there we need to bend down. So I'm gonna take the fan out, bend that out that way, and bend that back that way a little bit. We'll see what we get. I think we got it fitting relatively well. We got a little bit of gap here. I'm thinking some self-tapping screws will suck that together. I'll put some in here, and I think this gap is small enough now that some self-tapping screws should pull that together as well. This is still pretty flush, and this up here, I'll have to pull it out a bit, but it's pretty good. I can still see daylight in there, but you can't see as much right here. It's just that that bend where this is just isn't in the right spot. So I think I can, like I said, put self-tapping screws, and it should pull it down enough that I can spot weld it. But anyways, I'm pretty happy with how it is. I think now we're gonna make sure this is level. We'll try the new welder out. Put some tacks right there to hold that up. And I'm gonna try to fill in this crack here. I'm gonna try to push this up a little bit. May not be able to, but we'll put some weld on that. And I think tomorrow we'll come back and look at this again one more time See there, push that where it needs to be and change this whole thing up. You know, with that being down like it should, brought that back over. So I may have to bend this in some here to kick the pan back this way here. I'll worry about that tomorrow. I think tomorrow, yeah, we'll definitely bend this a little bit, kick this back out, and maybe punch some holes, get some self-tapping screws in it, and drill holes where the welds need to be through here. But anyways, let's make sure this is correct. Try the new welder out with spot weld in there and welding that crack up. Well, I think that's going to do it for me tonight. Pretty happy with how it came out so far. The pan needs to be tweaked a little more. We'll do that next time. I think the back part needs to come out a little bit more to let that front kind of come this way, kind of twist it a little bit. But I think, let me know if I'm wrong, but I think those self-tapping screws will bring the metal together enough for me to weld to. Because that one bend in that pan is almost flat. I'm afraid that it's going to be really hard, just too flat, and the other one's not, you know, it's flat. Be like that, try to weld this little seam up here. Let me know what you think about that. If I need to grind out the hole in the body mount bushing in the pan, need to grind out more so I can push it back towards the body more. That will help and I can bend it up more. May have to end up doing that. But that just makes that, this where this kick panel welds to go in quite a bit. So kind of at a spot where I want the kick panel to fit right, but also want it to be welded on this side. So if y'all have any ideas, please let me know what I need to do. But right now, I think going forward, I'm going to leave it where the kick panel is flush and try to find enough metal to weld to underneath the Bronco, so to speak. Well, if you have any ideas or suggestions or know how to do it, please let me know. It's not going to let me slow me down on this. I enjoyed doing it more than I thought I would. I think just the thought of cutting up new metal and bending it and stuff kind of got stuck in my head, and I didn't want to mess anything up, but I mean, I just need to do it. It'll never get done if I don't do it. So if I mess it up, I mess it up. They produce these, you know, every day, so I can get a new one if need be. But right now, I like how it's going. anyways, we'll continue on with this next time. The welder, it seemed to be all right. It welded that brace pretty good. Had trouble at the beginning, but I like the way it sounds. It has a different sound than my Hobart, so I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but it sounded like what I thought a welder should sound like when you're welding. We'll do some more scrap metal beads and spot welds before we weld that in. But anyways, if you like what you see, I post every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Like I say, usually on the Bronco, where I'm really wanting to get this side done here before the end of the year. So we're pushing towards that pretty hard. And thank you for all the comments on what goes where. It really does help. And thank you, Mike, for the diagrams. That's going to come in. That information is invaluable. Setting the door. So you want to get that right. You don't want your gaps to be, too small or too big. So we'll use that when we get there. Pillars make me nervous because we got to split it apart and I got to put it on there, front and back. But other than that, hopefully by the end of this year, this side will be done and we can flip it and start on the driver's side and get that done. And then we can, like I say, lift the body off and start working on the frame, suspension. I'm kind of nervous about this back portion here. When I was cleaning it out, big flakes of rust are coming out, so I'm not sure if could be a rust hole in here or what, but we're gonna give that a good look at. But anyways, that's kind of rambling on here. I post every Monday, Wednesday, Friday if you're new. Usually this car related. This is what this channel is about. Restoring cars. I got a couple in here. You see a Healy back there and that Bronco there. Best thing you can do is, if you like the channel, please like, comment, subscribe. Even if you don't like the channel, please like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps the channel get out there and helps me with the Bronco. Anyways, like I say again, please like, comment, subscribe. It means the world to me and really helps the channel out. And on that note, I'll see you on the next.